Welcome to a Cincy Fan Talkin with LP with yours truly, LP. Feeling the love, feeling the love, feeling the love. What's good? What's good? What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of a Cincy Fan Talking with LP. And this is yours truly, LP. What's going on with y'all? Happy Black History Month. You know what's going on. Happy February and all that good stuff. Um, got a lot to discuss. A lot going on with your boy. I'm just gonna go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get straight to it. First things first, like I said before, Happy Black History Month. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I appreciate my culture, like I really do, but I just feel like just the time of the year where people just use us to pump up all their stuff, and it's Happy Black History Month. Shop at the Gap, like Happy Black History Month. Hit McDonald's up. Like I hate this. I mean, I hate the fact that our culture get used like this. Like I really do, but I don't know, man. It's like I get inundated with messages we like to pump up your podcast and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, where you been at for the other 11 months of the year, yo? Like, where you been at? Like, I don't want to be your token because it's February. Like that always bothers me. So I don't know. Is that an old man rant? Like, is that me ranting like the old man? Do I sound like the get off my lawn guy? I don't know. It's just that's just how I feel about it. But I don't know, because I feel like it comes from a good place from a lot of people. And I don't want to alienate folks and make them feel like, oh, dang, what's wrong with him? Like, because it's not like that. And I think we're to the point where we can understand who's for us and who's not for us. I think we're to that point, you know. And I feel like a lot of the people that hit me up, it comes from a really good place. And I respect that. So I'm not really coming at them reckless. But, it's always a couple people, and I see that. I see them on Blue Sky, and I see them on X or Twitter or whatever. And I see how they tweet, and I see how they post all year. And now you want to hop on the gravy train for a month. Like, be for real. Like, I just appreciate the people that's for us 12 months a year, And I got a lot of people that's like that. I got a lot of supporters just like that. They're down for me. I'm down for them. And it's like that all year long. They don't wait until February to hit me up. So I think that's where I'm at with it. Like, my people's, or my people's out there that's messing with your boy. I appreciate that. Keep the love coming, and I'm down to help you out whenever. It's just that the 5% of people that just want to hop on that culture vulture gravy train. I'm not with that. Like, and I'm not trying to be anti. It's just how I feel. And I think a lot of people of my vein will tell you the same thing. And that's what I'm on. So supporters, I love y'all, feeling y'all to the fullest. Keep the love coming, and that's how I go. Hey, the Super Bowl. One team played another team. One team won, another team lost. Now, this is one of the few years I'm like, I don't care about the game. Get me to halftime. Now I know how the wife felt when Usher was performing. That's all she talked about. Usher performing. I don't care about the game. I don't care about the game. I'm like, but it's like the last football game you're going to see in a while. You don't care? Like, I care, but I don't. Just get to the performance. I'm like, okay, you fangirling. I don't want to look like dude from the Boondocks, so I'm gonna let you have your moment. I ain't really get it. I kind of get it now because I'm like, okay, the Eagles and the Chiefs, whatever. The Chiefs blew them out. We gonna get into that in a second. The game was secondary for a whole lot of people. Hey, Kendrick put on for rap. Kendrick put on for black folks. Kendrick put on for entertainers. He basically put on for everybody except Drake. I mean, that's just actual factual. Like the entire performance was textbook troll. I loved every second of it. It was petty. it it was not disrespectful. And me and the wife had a little conversation about this. She was like, he going too hard on Drake, You gotta chill on Drake. Drake a legend in his own right and he doing him dirty. And I'm like, number one, Drake lost this battle. But let's not act like Drake's some kind of scrub. Let's not do that. This would be like Ali beating Frazier or Ali beating Foreman. Foreman and Frazier are legends. They just ran up against the wrong guy on the wrong night. For one of them more than once. You feel me? But this was one of those things where Drake Drake can battle. Like Drake can get in your grill rap wise and really let you have it and ruin you for a while. Ask Meek Mill. He really did Meek Mill dirty. And Meek Mill had to kind of go and hide him for a while because, hey, Drake went back to back on him and it was over with. He bit off more than he could chew with Kendrick Lamar. That doesn't mean that Drake isn't one of the best rappers of our generation. And if you looking at me going like, hey, LP, chill out. Look at the man's catalog. Like for real. Look at the longevity he's had. Look at the bangers he's put out. Look at the people he put on. Like, let's be real. Drake one of the best to ever do it. Like, he cutting edge. He's done stuff people in the rap game have never done. He lost this battle brutally. That don't mean he not a legend. It mean he lost the battle. That's number one. Having said all that, and this is what I told the wife. Number two, Drake signed up for this. Like, when you start battling somebody like this, you signed up for whatever happens. And I know people going like, whoa, he called him a pedophile. He called him all types of stuff. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and co-sign like, yeah, he is, yeah, yeah. I don't know these people. So I'm not about to sit up here and go like, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, Kendrick could have been lying about all of this. Who knows? All I know is this. The template has been set long before these two battle. That if it's a battle, whatever you say goes, as long as you can make it sound good over a dope beat. If you don't believe me, hey, like I said, LP's a hip hop enthusiast. You can take it all the way back to Roxanne Shante battling KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions. Like, it got ugly. It really did. This was back in the 80s. And you had KRS-One saying that this 14, 15-year-old girl was only good for steady pumping. He really said that. Like, on a record, because they was battling, he got in his feelings because she was tearing off into them. Whatever, that's been like template way back. I mean, you had Pac saying all types of crazy stuff to Biggie and Junior Mafia and Diddy. Like, it's rap. Yeah. Would I say that you should talk like this in your everyday? No, sir, Bob. You should not be functioning in that manner. However, in a rap battle, everything you see between these two, that's how it go. Jay-Z talked about Nas crazy. Nas responded. Cannabis talked about LL Cool J crazy. LL Cool J responded. Like, that's how it go. Now, as long as they keep this battle on like digital streams or whatever, It's all good. There's no need to be fighting over this nonsense. Y'all both rich. Drake lost this battle, but they rich. They're wealthy. They'll both be okay. I was there for every second. I was grooving along. I had the 12-year-old with us, and she bopping along to the beat and all that. It was a wonderful night for Black culture because I this is the part I love the absolute most about it, y'all. He didn't water anything down, and some people were concerned about him, like watering stuff down, not doing the stuff that he normally does. I'm like, man, this Kendrick Lamar. Like, he made all right. Like, that was like the anthem for Black folks for a little bit. Like, he made records like DNA, like Humble. He's not about to water stuff down. And he didn't. As soon as I saw Samuel L. Jackson appear on my television screen, I just kicked back. I was like, yeah, he about to give it to us. It was awesome. I love when people are themselves. I even tell the kids in my classroom, it's easier to be yourself than somebody else. It's hard acting like somebody else. You might as well be yourself, even if people don't like it. Hey, you. Nobody can fault you for being yourself. And that's what Kendrick did. That's what made it such an authentic performance because there was no faking it. Like, he was showing where he came from. Him bringing Serena Williams out, that was just, I'm sure Drake was punching air somewhere. I also think Drake wasn't watching. He's probably in Australia kicking it somewhere. Overall, great performance. Watch the second half of the game. And to make a long story short, y'all, the Chiefs been living on borrowed time for a long time. Like big facts on this. They barely beat the Bengals. They barely beat the Broncos. Like, you name a team, they barely beat them. So at some point, that train was going to go off the tracks. Now, it was messed up for them that it happened on the biggest stage in sports. But you can't win. I kept saying this to people. You cannot win like that consistently and win a championship. You can't. I mean, the only way you can do that is if it's in March Madness. It's one of those, like, you get hot and you start knocking people off. You can do that, but you talking about a 40-minute game with a 3-point line and stuff like that. This is football. It's more grueling. It's more physical. And you cannot continuously beat people by 3 points, by 2 points, by 2 points. Yeah, you win it, but at some point, you got to be dominant or else fold. And they folded. And they folded to a really good team. The Eagles were so underrated for most of the year. They came into Cincinnati and blew us out, y'all. Like, I think they went 8 straight possessions or something like that, scoring a touchdown against us. That's great. No, it wasn't 8 touchdowns. I think it was 8 straight possessions where they scored. It was wow. It was unseemly. Once I saw that, I was like, yeah, these boys might be ready. Um, Shout out to Jalen Hurts, the Shamar Moore lookalike. Black power to you, sir. Um, Carried the MVP. Quiet as kept, the defense should have won the MVP, but I don't think any of them care. Kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're an Eagles fan, you deserve to live it up for the next couple of months. Be safe out there, y'all. Don't break nothing. Don't tear nothing down. Um, Climb up a couple of lampposts or something like that. So I was supposed to put this out last week, right? Stuff got in the way, this, that, and the third. LP's not about to make excuses. All I was like was, I'm going to hop on here and make sure I give y'all something, you know, make sure I do my thing. So, and this was while the Grammys that took place. Kendrick Lamar had roped up a whole lot of awards. A few people did. And there was a lot of people on the sidelines, not really looking salty, but, they wanted to win. Beyonce won for Cowboy Carter, which was absolutely awesome because she didn't really get that support from the country community, and the R&B community kind of pulled her through for that because they're not supposed to be playing that country record, but that's all I heard on R&B outlets. They was playing it heavy, and I think that really catapulted her. But I started to get to thinking a little bit like all of these people accepting these Grammys and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the people that aren't winning, and people are like, yeah, so and so lost, or so and so lost. And I'm like, is it to the point where we only care about winning? Like, is that it? Case in point, I was having an argument with, not really an argument. I can't be arguing about sports. We was having like a discussion. I'm like, Dan Marino is one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. He's telling me, nah. I'm like, you ever seen Dan Marino play? You ever seen this man's release? Look at the record books. He ain't win no title though. And I'm like, really? So, in order for you to be considered the great at anything, you have to win a title? Well, we Xing out a whole lot of people off the bat. Barry Sanders ain't one of the best. Jim Kelly's not one of the best. Who else? Charles Barkley's not one of the best. We can just go on and on down the list of people who, quote unquote, aren't the best because they didn't win the title. That's the if that's the case, Robert Ory is one of the greatest players alive. If we doing that, how many rings he got? What, 5? What, something like that, right? And for me, it's one of those things where, oh, by the way, no Robert Ory slander here at all. I seen this man ball. You get a ball to Big Shot Bob at the end, he cashed money. He's responsible for at least 3 titles on his own. So he deserved every ring he got. All I'm saying is, when we talking about the upper echelon of ballers out here, people don't say Robert Ory. They don't. And it's like, you stack his rings up with somebody else, he usually come out on top. So we judge him more than just rings in that case, right? So if that's the case for him, why is that not the case for everybody? And for me, it's one of those things where as we get older and we see more and more people doing a thing, we need to find a way to classify the best from the very good, from the good to the adequate. And for some reason, people use that ring and made that the number one thing. And for me, that's absolutely outrageous. It's so hard to win a championship at anything. Like, it really is. And if we're only calling the people that did that one thing the best, then we leaving out a whole lot of people that are deserving, but it just wasn't their time to win a ring. So much has to go correct, y'all. So much has to go right. You got to stay healthy. You need a little bit of luck. You need a lot of dominance. You need to have hot people at the right time. You need to have solid coaching. Like, you need a lot to go right in this small bubble of a year. And I don't think people appreciate the fact that it's just hard to do. And some people, they get to that mountain and they just can't get over it. But if we're holding that against them, then what does that mean for? I mean, the Buffalo Bills was my squad growing up. Now, if you're going like, but this is Cincy Fan Talking, of course it is. With LP, glad you're here. But it got dark in Cincinnati for, I don't know, about 15, 16 years. The 90s was awful, y'all. Oh my God. If you a Cincinnati fan and you was riding through the 90s, you know exactly what I'm saying. It was a whole lot of 2 and 14, 4 and 12, 3 and 13, 2 and 4. It was a whole lot of that with a little bit of 8 and 8 sprinkled in. So folks like myself and my brothers and my brother and my cousins, and we needed people to root for that was actually going to make the playoffs. We had the Bengals, that was our squad, but we needed a reason to watch television in January. You feel me? So we all played Tecmo Bowl a lot, Super Tecmo Bowl, and we all had our favorite teams. So that was the teams we was rolling with. And my favorite team was the Buffalo Bills. Man, they were phenomenal on offense and defense. Made it to four Super Bowls, did not win a single one. By the way, one of the best 30 for 30, 30 for 30. This guy, one of the best 30 for 30 docs. Four Falls of Buffalo. I talked about it before. Four Falls of Buffalo. Check it out. It is good. But they never got over that hump. And so much crazy stuff happened to them. First Super Bowl, their field goal kicker misses the field goal with no time on the clock. They lose by 2 or 3. No, they lose by 2. Next year, they kind of get the doors blown off. Year after that, they get the doors blown off. Year after that, they're hanging in there. They take the lead in the halftime. Second half, they have a fumble, and next thing you know, they're getting the doors blown off. It was just one of those things where they just couldn't get over the top. They just couldn't. But you got 3 or 4 members of those teams in the Hall of Fame. Are we saying that these players weren't elite? Of course they were. They just couldn't get over the top. And I feel like that about the Grammys. I feel like that about a lot of things. I feel like so many people put the rings, the thing, on top of everything. And you'll see the people that's like doing their thing and they'll tell you like, it's an honor just to be nominated. I'm not saying aim low. I'm not saying just try to get nominated. But understand that it takes a lot of work just to get that. Like, your boy got nominated for Teacher of the Year for the district. Like, this is a real thing. This actually happened. I was super pumped up when I saw it. I'm like, really? Whoa. And I'm getting all the congratulations. And this is just for being nominated. And everybody's like, yeah, good job, BLP, whatever. So I'm looking, I'm like, man, I might win. Maybe. And then I look up and I don't win. And then I saw the guy that did win and I was like, yeah, he deserved that. Like, this guy in our school that I was at, he started a program for kids in like the special education rooms. He started a program where they were actually like cooking up food, cooking up breakfast food. And then on Fridays, they would come down to us, like to us teachers, and they would sell us that food. And the food was banging, like breakfast food, like the little scrambled egg sandwiches and all that stuff. And they were learning, like, business skills. They were learning how to count the money up and give the change. And like, they were running the whole program. And I'm like, man, that is so dope. As a father of a kid with special needs, I'm standing up and I'm applauding him. And I didn't win, and I was nominated. It's one of those things where people recognize what you do and they appreciate it. Everybody can't win. And for all the good I did, I looked at him and I was like, hey, he deserved that. And he was standing up and he was like, thanking all of us teachers that got nominated for like, making the school a better place and stuff like that. And I'm like, he deserves that. Like, I don't feel like I lost. I feel like he won because he was doing some great stuff. It's one of those things where you have to understand that everybody can't win. You're going to try your best to win things, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't make you not elite. It means somebody was a little bit better than you. And I don't think enough people realize that. So, I don't know, the Grammys kind of got me thinking about that. Like, we super focused on trophies and rings and stuff, and I don't think people take into account the journey. People only see like that end result. But really the journey's the thing, because when it's all said and done and you talking to your grandkids and you talking to your peoples about this, you're going to tell about all those little funny stories that happen on the way to you doing a great job and maybe getting there and maybe not. So, just something to think about. By the way, for some reason, there are like dogs baying in the background. Like, they going hard. I don't know. Is that a mating call or something like that? Like, I would like go outside and tell them to stop, but I don't want to get chewed up. So I'm just gonna kick it here, like, and talk to y'all. So if you happen to like turn up your sound real loud and you hear that, That's what that is. I don't know what's happening. So, um, on kind of a serious note, um, hands up for anybody that was in school and had like a lockdown drill. You know, one of those drills where they tell you to like shelter in place and stuff like that, turn off all the lights, cover the door, and like wait for further instructions. If you're my age, you probably never had that happen. But the younger you are, the more likely it is you had one of those situations. And unfortunately, I happened to be in one of those situations last week. It wasn't the first time, sadly, it wasn't the first time I've been in a situation like that. Honestly, I cannot count how many times I've been in like a real lockdown situation. I mean, this is year 17 of me being a teacher, like a classroom teacher. So there, I can I can probably sit here for the next probably 2 to 3 hours and tell you about all the times I've had to like have a class, hide in the corner with all the lights off, and they're looking at me terrified, waiting for further instructions. And I got to sit there like super calm, even though my mind racing. Like, okay, chair right there to throw, chair right there to throw. I got the stapler right here if I got to use it, and there's a door right there we can all run out of. Like, I'm really thinking these things. There have been countless instances where this has happened, and last week wasn't really an exception. It was just one of those things where it hadn't happened in a while, and I kind of not really forgot, but it just hadn't happened in a while. So we're just kind of sitting in class, and all of a sudden we hear on the intercom, um, we're in the level 3 lockdown. Everybody, do what you're supposed to do, and we hadn't had one in a while, like I said. And the kids are, they're kind of goofing off. They're kind of like, ha 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 ha, because they think it's a drill. And I'm thinking in my head, they would have told us if it was a drill. We would have heard about it a week ago, to kind of get us ready. And I'm like, yeah, damn, this is not a drill. So in the beginning of the year, first day of school, I told the kids in no uncertain terms, because I'm not a yeller, I don't scream or any of that at the kids. I don't really do that. I think it's kind of pointless. Plus, we found it kind of funny as kids when the teacher got all loud and yelling and red in the face. We found it hilarious. So I always told myself when I became a teacher, I'm not going to let the kids laugh at me that way. But I told them, I was like, look, the only time you might hear me say something really rude to you is during a lockdown and you're not doing what I asked you to do. And you got to understand, my job is to get you home safe. I don't care about your feelings at this point. This is the only time I won't care about your feelings. And I think a couple of them forgot that. I'm like, they're like, hey, is this real? I'm like, this is real. Move the desk over to the door, get in our assigned corner. Let's go. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Stop playing. I said it just like that. You can see him snap into attention, like, because they kind of remembered, like, if it's real and we're not doing what we're supposed to do, teacher's gonna really get in our stuff. Like, he's not playing games. And I told them, I tell their parents and everything, and they always agree with me. I'm like, I have to get you home safe. I can't be like, hey, you gotta. We don't have time for that. We really don't. We see what happens on the news if things don't go right. Like, it's a real life or death situation. Cause get down, shut up, stop playing. And they snapped into place. Looky here, y'all. We sat in the corner with the lights off, quiet, for about an hour and a half. And I got to give it to our admin team and all that. Like, they knew exactly what was going on. Like, they were shooting us emails off and letting us know exactly what the situation was. So it was one of those situations where they had it under control, but they had to make absolutely sure everything was like what it was supposed to be. And I definitely respected that because they were keeping us in the loop. And I'm letting the kids know what's going on. They're getting antsy. I'm sneaking over to my desk and like throwing in the peanut butter crackers so they don't get super hungry. He was like, like you could kind of see us coming together because at first they were like afraid, and I was kind of telling, and it was really, it's kind of sort of sad because I'm telling the kids like, stay down. Like we got these chairs in front of us, and we can throw them if we need to. Then we getting up out this way, and the longer we sat there, and the more I'm giving them information, the more they're like, okay, we're good, we're good. They started to get a little goofy. I'm like, you got your computers over here. Just look at them quietly, turn the sound off, stay down. But it seemed like everything was okay. And once we hit that period where I kind of felt like, we were good, I just started thinking, like, this is really messed up. Like, the climate that we're in is really messed up. Again, I'm not talking about my school in general, okay? I'm talking about school, period. The fact that we have to do stuff like this, the fact that I really feel like it's one of those situations where it's not an if, it's a when, because we have like three of my kids in school now, and then I'm in school, and then the wife is in school. So that's like 4 or 5 different schools. And you just kind of thinking like, it's not an if thing, it's a when thing. And it's really so sad we're at that state of education. And like I said, it's not an our admin thing. Like they did what they needed to do. They made sure we were safe and all of that. Like I respected the response. It's like an American school thing. That's where we are. Like I don't know if it's like a joke or not, but I saw some stuff where this teacher was sitting in her classroom, and then pulled her like she pulled like this lever, and then like a whole other room opened up, and it was like all bulletproof, and it could fit like 25 people in it, and that was just part of her classroom. I'm like, this got to be a joke. Maybe somebody's trying to sell something, but we're to the point where we're seeing stuff like that, and I'm not sure it's a joke. Like it's a really sad state of affairs. Like in Ohio, they're talking about letting us have like guns in our desk and stuff. Never, not me. Like no, indeed. Like I can think of about 12 or 13 different things that could go wrong, and only 1 or 2 things that can go right. That 13 to 14 to 2 ratio, it's not working for the kid. No, I'm good. But we're just at that point in education where it's like something has to change in order for us to be like safe, because in America we want all this stuff. We want like the test scores straight, and we want to build them up social and emotionally and all that good stuff, which is all well and good, but it's hard to learn when you don't feel safe. And we can make our general classrooms as safe as we can, but if the environment outside isn't safe, and you're seeing on the news every day about school shootings this and school shooting that, it's really difficult to feel safe in any school. Any school. I'm grateful for the squad that we have, and I feel safer here than I have in other schools. But it just feels like this is an American problem. And we don't have an American solution other than, hey, let's give everybody more guns. I don't know how liberal that sounds, but it's the truth. I never knew of a situation where the answer for a problem was more of the problem. That's just kind of weird. So I don't know. It's just something to think about. I don't know. Write your congressman. I don't know. So before we head out, um, got a new thing I'm doing, and this kind of came from my kid. Um, she's always saying how I'm looking at the weirdest stuff on YouTube. She's like the stuff you get recommended is like absolutely crazy. Like, how is it this weird on your YouTube feed? And I'm like, I don't know. I watch a whole lot of weird stuff, and they recommend more weird stuff. So I end up watching weird stuff. It's a cycle. Unlike my Tubi fetish, it's not one of those things where I'm just watching like bad stuff. I'm watching really interesting things. It just happens to be weird. So I bring to you what I found on YouTube this week or last week or whenever I drop this pod. Can I fit all of that? Let's just call it what I found on YouTube. Let's go with that. What I found on YouTube. Okay, this is the premiere, so I had to make sure it was good. Um, it's kind of weird, but it's really, really good. So this is called. Um, I gotta look up the exact name. I definitely drop it on my Blue Sky feed so you can watch it. But it was called "The Day When the Winning Ticket Wasn't the Winning Ticket" or something like that. So let me set the scene for you. Now I'm gonna spoil it a little bit, but it's gonna make you want to watch it. This takes place in Washington D.C. All right. Now you have the Washington R skins. That's always been a slur to me. I'm like, how did they get away with that for so many years? I don't know. But the Washington team, they were called back then, were playing the Cincinnati Bengals in D.C. And they gave away all of these tickets to these people. They're calling people, letting them know, hey, you want free tickets to the Washington game against the Bengals. Come on down and pick them up. And this is when, like, the Redskins, yeah, it tasted disgusting saying it. This is when Washington was like balling, winning Super Bowls and the whole 9 yards. So they invite all these people to come down and get the tickets, only for the people to come down and get put in this big room and find out that this is a humongous thing and every single person that is working there is an FBI agent. Man, the scream I screamed, the yell laugh I yell laughed. Because it was ingenious. Like they had FBI people posing as cheerleaders. They had a mascot that was the FBI. Like they really went all out in order to make this happen. I respect the hustle. And then for the guys, and this was like they had some real life criminals in there, y'all. Like they didn't have like just some petty theft stuff. Like they didn't have people, jaywalking. They had some real criminals they was busting, and they came in so happy, y'all. Like they had people like yeah yeah yeah. They come in dancing. It was like a little Soul Train or something. They dancing they little old school 1984 leather jackets. Like they bebopping down. They get in the room, get their feelings hurt. Looky here. It was just so interesting to see. Like it was ingenious, especially you talking pre-social media where they actually had to call people and talk to them and keep this whole charade going. Like they couldn't just catfish them like that. They had to really sell it. They had to really act. You gotta watch it. It's about 12 to 15 minutes long. You gotta see it. I'm definitely gonna drop it in the Blue Sky feed. I'll drop it in the X feed. Check out your boy. I'm kind of migrating from X, Twitter X, onto Blue Sky more and more. So check me out there. But y'all gotta check this out, all right? And now I got like reserves of weird stuff that I've seen. So I'll just be dropping at least one, maybe two a week for you to check out. And then you can have your YouTube feed just as weird as my YouTube feed. You'll love it. I'm telling you. Like I have endless supplies of entertainment because I'm willing to use my YouTube search bar like my Twitter search bar. I think that's the secret. I don't search stuff on Google. I search stuff on YouTube. And I just see what pops up. Like you really rolling the dice, especially in public. Don't do this in public. I made the mistake of doing this in a Dollar Tree, y'all, and I almost had to throw my phone away. Like this stuff that popped up, and somebody's looking over. I was like, "Whoa, this is not how I lived. Like this ain't me. I was just looking, just for the trust me." it was a thing. So look out for that. And it looks like we about to go ahead and wrap this up. I usually don't go this long, but hey, I had to drop a little bit more because I left y'all lacking last week. So check me out next week. Yeah, I gotta start sticking to hard deadlines. So make sure y'all check me out next week. Same bad time, same back channel. Cue the music producer, man. This has been a Cincy Fan Talkin production. Um, if you scroll down the whole thing, it's just gonna say LP, LP, LP. So we just gonna go ahead and roll out, man. Make sure y'all stay solid. Make sure y'all stay dangerous, stay straight, and we gonna see y'all next week. Life is good.